Yeah, because somebody in the comments was like, huh?
The nuclear family.
uh Mr. James, what you talking about?
James, come on up, James. Let me know what's up. What part? Uh, yeah, the nuclear family. That idea was being sold by white society along with the quote unquote American dream. That was not really for us, if that makes sense. What about you, Miss V? What do you think? What are some struggles that we face today that we should definitely challenge?
Um, what are our struggles that we accept? Because we've been on this series. A lot of people asked for this series. I thought because the original question was, let me start for those of the people that's just watching or in the hallway. We first started out with the question, what teaching are our ancestors' teachings helping us or hindering us? And then we just kind of trickle down and just been doing different questions, kind of like staying on the same topic, but actually in a different way, because I guess it's kind of broad or whatever, but it's been bringing up a lot of things for for a lot of people, the question in general. You get what I'm saying? Like it it's supposed to like give help kind of help us really to think about what are we like. It's not to reject our ancestors or make our elders feel shame or erase tradition, but it's like to kind of define what struggle is, because sometimes we carry on the same trauma as our ancestors and call it
100%.
teaching. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
and
saying? Go ahead.
just to explain the two-parent household thing. So the nuclear family, right, husband plus wife and some children, right, is some kind of isolated household. It's historically abnormal on a global scale because that came from Europe. You know what I'm saying? Um, the diet came from Europe. That was in Africa. We didn't have anything like that. Most of the indigenous people, they didn't have anything like that. Families were lineage based, not nuclear. You know what I'm saying? And child rearing was just even watching your child. It was part of the community. You know what I'm saying? The grandparents, uncles, siblings, the community. Like we lived in a community where everybody could discipline other people's kid. You know what I'm saying? So this whole, father and mother roles, they're not strictly kind of, biological statuses, for us, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying. But of course, here in America, like things have changed a lot. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but like um and then it's different cultures
Hmm.
that did that, and they still do that today, where as everybody gets a chance to discipline the child, right? As now, but now you see, nobody can discipline a child except for the mother or the father.
Hmm.
Some, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just look at it more like at a bigger scale. Like, because after slavery, the state attacked the black family structures again and again. We know that. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about, uh, black men, you know what I'm saying, or black women, we never really had that. That's not for us. Does that make sense? Because
when
if
when you're
does that
talking
make sense at
about
all or not?
when we're talking about black men and women, that's not for
Mhm.
us. Which, yeah, that's just too broad.
Yeah, when we talk about what I'm saying, I'm just talking about specifically about the idea of the nuclear family. You know what I'm saying? Um, and the nuclear family was just kind of actively denied to to Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? With enslaved people, they couldn't marry. You know what I'm saying? And families could be broken by will or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then after slavery, black men got criminalized, removed from homes, and forced labor, all that kind of shit. So Um, it's just yeah, the whole nuclear family. It's just not an idea that really works for us, and we have never really been like
So
that. That's
basically,
something that
so
came from Europe.
right. So basically, your stance is bottom line that nuclear families was not for black people.
Correct. That's not something that came from us.
Oh,
That's all that means. But uh, we definitely we never acted like them. Most of these ideas were kind of brought in by them, like the patriarchy. The black community, we never really had that. The misogyny, that's not something that came from us. That's all ideas that came from them. You know what I'm saying? Essentially going back to religion at the same time, if that makes sense.
mm.
What is so hard, V? You make it V act like I'm speaking a different language right now. Lord have mercy. But yeah, but I will say though, the generational trauma one, that was a very strong point to make, you know what I'm saying? And it's really bad, you know what I'm saying, in our community. But I just think that's a community thing that we have to kind of, you know what I'm saying, take care of by ourselves, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, some of the stuff that along what you just said just now, different people that have been coming up saying that they basically, I've had some people say that they not even paying attention to the teachers, the teaching
Mm-hmm.
of the ancestors. They are saying that they are paving their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like
Uh,
that's kind of scary.
I'm not a Christian. I'm a big believer in my ancestors, and I look at my ancestors because they can understand me more than anybody can. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, because I think a lot of people nowadays we buy into this kind of system of capitalism or this kind of system of we could do it by ourselves or whatever. It's just a mindset nowadays. But you just have to understand that our ancestors they, they thought of everything. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that we could think about that they did not think about. You know what I'm saying? Um, the answers are always going to be in your ancestors. I don't feel like you could get them anywhere else. That's what my opinion. That is, you know what I'm saying? Because I go back, I look at teachings, I go back and read diaries, and just try to understand that because that's a big part of us that we just don't really understand. And I think it's very important to understand that part about you, then kind of ignore it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like to me, ignoring it, is just like walking into a place blindfolded. So now I'm not saying that you got to adapt everything from it, but it's good to have that knowledge because one of my daily prayers is, damage my knowledge and, replace it with wisdom and understanding. So, yeah, to say no, I'm just going to I don't need to know. I'm gonna do this thing on my own. I don't know.
Yeah, I 100%. I feel you on
Yeah, because
that.
a lot of stuff that they did, a lot of stuff that went on, like I mean, you can learn from what not to do in today.
Yeah. Um, I think a lot of people nowadays are very docile. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, um, I won't say they became lazy, but I feel like things are just different now. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, and I think that it's very important to keep the culture together, and that's why I think it's very important to gatekeep culture and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because once you start inviting too many people, and you kind of you start to stray away, if that makes sense. James, I don't think so, James. I think it's more understand. It's more about understanding what's for us and what's not really for us, and what our ancestors didn't have nuclear families. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have this weird patriarchy system of family where the men, you know what I'm saying, had to play this certain role, and so we never really had. We were never like that. That's just that specific system is a system that does not come from us. If that makes sense, uh, James. James, come on up, brother. Let's talk about it. Let us talk about it. But yeah, B, are these the kind of topics that you usually do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was. Oh, I see. I usually do reparation. I'm about to go start my live on reparations. So, and I saw you live, and I had to tap in. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Okay,
give you
well,
a
I'll have to
follow.
come through. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, I'll have to
Oh,
come
my
through.
spaces are very chaotic. I don't think you want to come in there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when I say because I be arguing. I mean, most of them are white people. You know what I'm saying? And they be coming up and just completely having emotional breakdowns. You
Yeah, I
feel
could
me?
imagine so.
I'll be letting they ass know. You feel me? Cut the check.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the nuclear family, it comes out of northern, northwest Europe. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And um, it just features late marriages, some kind of rural, local household. You know what I'm saying? So new couples live alone in kind of small, isolated family units. You know what I'm saying? That's what a nuclear family is in totality. Um, but for and plus with the church coming in, and criminalizing all kinds of things, you know, that's kind of their thing. That's what they were doing. If you look at black people, if you believe you're indigenous or even in Africa, they never did anything like that at all. You know what I'm saying? There's no nursing homes. There was none of that really going on. You know what I mean? But yeah, B, I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. You know what I'm saying? You stay safe, okay?
All right, you too. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate your input.
Hell yeah! I thought you had a gift goal. I was gonna do your gift goal, but you don't seem like you have a
Yeah,
gift goal.
yeah. Sometimes I have it up there, sometimes not. And I used to go live a whole lot. Like so, it's been almost 2 years since I've been going live. That's why it's so scarce in here.
Hmm.
So, but I'm just and just trying to get back into the algorithm. Some days we get people who come, to come in. Some days not. But I
Hmm.
do know TikTok. You got to be consistent for them to really, push you back a
TikTok
bit.
is
Like,
cooked anyways, man. With the whole new
yeah, that's what a lot
contract, it
of
was
people were
glitching
saying.
and shit.
Yeah, now that it's owned by the U.S., well,
I know.
partially owned by the U.S.
I'm trying to expand and get on YouTube or Twitter or something because I'll be having way too many people crash out, and I'm telling you, people be dead ass crashing out. Like it be so bad. You gotta tap in sometime.
Why do you don't get on? Why you don't get on Twitch?
I need to
Yeah.
get on Twitch. Huh? See, the problem is I work full time. I'm a aircraft mechanic. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, I'm just a young brother out here in Chicago, just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Having
Oh,
fun,
Chicago,
doing my
Chi-Town.
thing. Yeah, so I don't really have time, to go live as much as I should. So
Right.
I only go live like maybe an hour, 2 hours when I can. But most of the time,
Mhm.
I'd be too busy doing kind of my thing. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like my son. Like,
I
but
sound like your
believe it or not, it's a lot of young people that do not. It's a lot. Hey, Drea, good morning. How are you? It's a lot of young people that is not on social media as people think it is. It seems like it's more people my age.
I think
And
that's just your algorithm. That's what it is. I think TikTok's gonna give you people who kind of follow a lot around your kind of whatever topic you do. Does that make sense?
well, I'm around. I work with the community. I'm around, but it's a lot
You're
of
not with the young
young
cats.
people. How old are you? 'Cause my son is 26. My young son is 26, and
That's so funny. We're just in the age.
yeah, and
Well, no,
who the
my
same
son.
age?
He's a year older than me.
Oh, okay.
Your son.
Oh,
His
okay,
son,
yeah.
yeah.
He don't really be on here. I be trying to get him on here though. Good
Yeah, I
morning.
mean,
How are you?
the kids are the future, man. And I think you were talking about the older folks and the ancestors. I think there's a little bit of a gap right now, you know what I'm saying, between the elders and the new generation. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the mistakes, right? I think we got to tap in, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it goes both ways. I feel like some of the older cats, they be kind of doing, you know, this kind of weird condescending age talk where they're like, they feel like they know better. You shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
so they think that they worked hard and we don't do nothing, you know, and the young cats feel like it's all day, but it's about having conversations. I feel like those are conversations that need to be had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the that's why I like the original. When I first started this series, it
Hmm.
was it seemed like it was a bunch of young people coming in, and it was the old people and the younger people was having a conversation, but it wasn't. It didn't get to the point where nobody was calling each other out the name. It did get a little heated, but it was a good conversation. But
Hmm.
I personally love young people because you can definitely learn from you all. Like I feel like we if you get people my age that's open mind, like man, we are forced to be reckoned with. Like right now, me
Hell
and my
yeah.
son are doing a 21-day mind research challenge together,
What's that?
and like we taking out 21 days. We writing tangible goals for each day. We doing like a self speech every day.
Mm.
um we like in your goals you kind of like manifesting. In the beginning of the 21 days we wrote a letter to our future self, so after the 21 days we
That's a
can
lot. I'm not doing all that.
nobody, that's a lot.
I'm just roll a blunt. I'm all right. I'm good. I'm just roll a blunt.
Lord, well he don't well him neither are I, we know, indulge in that, but
Uh-oh.
nothing
Go get
against
you some
people
wine
that
then,
do,
V. V, get
because
you some
hey,
wine, V. Shit. Get you some Taylor Port or something. I don't know.
huh.
Get you some Taylor Port.
Yeah, teleport, what is that?
Oh, yeah, how you not know that? Oh, I gotta take your black card now. Oh,
What is that?
that's wine.
Oh my gosh.
You don't know
Teleport.
that?
Okay.
Oh, it's all,
Mm.
yeah, you don't be drinking like that either. Damn. I don't know how y'all
Oh,
do
you
it.
gotta take my black. No, oh my God. That is too funny.
Yeah.
Cause somebody else just was laughing because of how I said Boosie name. And I'm like,
Boozy.
like, who says his name like that? And
Yo,
they was
why you say
like,
it like why you saying it
that's
like
not
that?
how you say his
Boozy?
name.
No, it's not. Where you from?
Like, I thought something was wrong with them. So are you serious? That's not how you say his name?
No, you say Boosie.
That's what I said.
No, you said Bussy.
No, I did not.
Are you from the South?
Yes.
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah, that's probably why. You know what I'm saying? That's
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
But that's dope that you and your child are doing that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of rarely ever really see stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
Now,
we can't. He's like the youngest child of his generation, and I'm the youngest child of my generation. So I see some similar some similarities in his mood. So hopefully with this, I wish I had somebody coaching me as I am with him. So I just feel like yeah, he's in a good space right now. Like, that's why
mhm.
I was really impressed when you said what your career was. Because I love to see when our, young black children are very successful, and doing stuff that they want to be doing. Because I honestly don't like seeing those posts about, oh my God, it's Monday. Oh my God, I don't feel like going to work. Like that is disturbing to me. Like we living in a time where you should be able to do what you want to do and make money. Like this is
Mm,
I understand that we do still have barriers in America, but we can't keep
mhm.
letting that be an excuse.
Yeah,
Like,
that's you're talking about. That's dustyism. You know what I'm saying? That's just dusty nigga activity. You know what I'm saying? We do have dusty niggas in the community. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like most
Good
people out here really
morning,
doing their
Doris.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Most of them are doing their thing nowadays. You know, most of the black kids. You know, I just think that I wish that as a community we did a better job educating and creating more programs to inspire and push these kids. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have,
What inspired you to
man,
to reach your goal?
man, I grew up in the trenches of Florida. You know what I'm saying? Section A baby. uh, but what really inspired me because I
Yeah, let's
always,
say that. So
but
let me ask you this, because
mm,
like I said, even because I put my stuff on you. So struggle help guide your success.
no, I wanted to travel. I wanted to travel.
Okay.
I wanted to travel more, so I wanted to get more money and travel more. Yo, have you seen the movie Boomerang
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think we talking about the same movie.
with Eddie Murphy?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
See, I always wanted to be like that dude. You know what I'm saying? Nice apartment, you know what I'm saying? Clean,
hmm
sharp, the bachelor lifestyle. That's what I wanted to be. But more, overall, because I was raised by my grandmother by herself, you know what I'm saying?
hmm
I didn't like seeing her in those conditions. So, I had to man up, and I did it. Now she's living, better now. You know what I'm saying? But I
hmm
think for me, it was my family, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense because, like I said, like sometimes what we see growing up, it helps us, and I think it's good when you are at that point where, hey, I see what my family went through. I don't want to go through that instead of
Right.
wallowing in the trauma. You get what I'm saying? And just
100%. I agree
and
with you.
just blaming. You know what I'm saying? Because I do see some that do that. At the end of the day, you got to realize your as girls looking at their moms, she at one point she was just a girl.
Right.
Boys looking at their dads, at one point he was just a boy. And
Right.
like, now granted, we do have some horrific, narcissistic parenting, we do, but it's like sometimes I see, because there is a lot of sensitivity going on,
Hmm.
whereas you tripping because your mom, worked all the time and didn't, and
Hmm.
and gave you what you want, but just didn't give you enough time. But you had everything you need, so now she's a horrible mother. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm
I'm
like,
already knowing.
yeah,
A
I'm
lot of
like,
people don't realize we all have the same trauma. Like this is something this not isolated. This is something that happened to pretty much a lot of us growing up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize that's how generational trauma travels down. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um, if that makes sense. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Jay,
'cause-
all of
yeah,
us.
right. Because I, like I said, I have a friend that's even from a different country, different culture, and some of the stuff that I hear, other kids say, like, she's like, we did that too. Like we went through
Right.
that, like, so, it's not just you all, like, complaining about, hey, well, my mom never told me she loved me. But
Hmm.
did your mom put food on your table? Yeah. Did you have clothes on your back? Yeah. Did you play school sports?
They
Yeah.
did what they can. They did what they can. That's why I love my grandma to death because she did what she can. My grandma, she raised us. Her husband passed away. She had to do it by herself,
Mm-hmm.
and she never got remarried or anything like that. And she made sure that we were fed, if at worst. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, this affects us a lot because we had to grow up in the street because she wasn't there because she was working. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put that on her. I think for me, as a man, you just have to realize that you have to step up because nobody's coming to help us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially if you're
Yeah.
Black American, there's nobody coming to help you. The government is not going to help you. Your mama and your dad are not going to help you. Because there's no generational wealth, right? And
Right.
now you have all these immigrants being flooded in, being, what I'm saying, brought in, Arabs,
Mm-hmm.
Chinese. They're going to start building business in your community. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? You can sit at home and say racism. You know what I'm saying? You could do that. You could sit at home and smoke weed every day. You know what I'm saying? But there's nobody coming to help you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I just realized, like, you gotta just kind of low key just get the fuck up and get to it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I love that. Man, you done made my morning. Like I said, I love when I see my young people, they put on their critical thinking skills. She gave you a full undivided attention to care for you. Oh yeah, that's right.
One
That's
hundred
right.
percent.
That's right. And that's amazing. And sometimes cause I tell people like I feel like I'm a sacrificial lamb of my generation because there's a lot of things that I sacrifice so the
One hundred
ones
percent.
coming after me won't have to. And you know,
Mhm.
it can be painful, but it's needed. And I'm willing to do
Right.
that because at the end of the day, like we wait for to celebrate Martin Luther King one time a year, but we should
Mhm.
all take on those things. We should all like try to take
Mhm.
on things to try to better ourselves as individuals inside of our families. Like we should
V,
do
that's
that.
the
Like
part right
we,
there, though. That's the part that you just said, the quiet part that no one wants to say out loud, is that it's painful, but somebody has to do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna take accountability because I'm a black man. I have to take accountability for myself. You know what I'm saying? Understanding
mhm,
with whatever goes on. Can I look back and look and say what have y'all what has the last generation of men done for the new young generation? You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And I can say that they really haven't done much. You know what I'm saying? and that doesn't mean like because we understand racism exists. Don't get me. We understand that it exists,
right,
right? But where's the effort? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
mhm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'd rather you go out and have effort. You know, it's funny. I posted this video on my page with you know who James Baldwin is.
Mhm,
So James Baldwin, he was talking about his father and how his father, he would go to work and he would get called the N word and stuff like that, right?
mhm,
And he was talking about the psychology behind how his father was mentally, he couldn't just quit his job. You know what I'm saying? Because he had
right,
children. You know what I'm saying? You don't go home and say, "Hey, kids, the white man called me the N word, so I quit my job. Now we're hungry." You know what I'm saying? That's just not how that works. You feel me?
right,
and and mentally, he talked about how his love for his mom's and his dad's relationship was like deteriorating because of how much his dad was going through. But
mhm,
that shows how important us we have to step up as men. You know what I'm saying? For our children and for our women. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
we've been
makes a lot of
marching, we've
sense.
been protesting. There's nothing has changed. Nothing. There's nothing has changed. You know what I'm saying?
Just
So
one.
either we have to make a decision, you know what I'm saying, of what to do next for the future of our children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I tell people because I have my oldest son is going to be 35 in a couple of weeks, and my youngest I just told you he 26, and he's going to be 27 soon too. So my thing is I'm glad that they have decided not to have children yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know until you become what you want and be able to provide for your children and choose a partner that's going to help you raise your child, then so I'm glad. Like even though a lot of their peers have children and stuff like that, I'm just glad. I mean, call it what you want. That's a flex to me.
Yeah.
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 So be
I'm already
smart
knowing.
about it.
I'm
Um.
already knowing. You know, growing up, my aunts, they got pregnant in high school. You know what I'm saying? And I would
Yeah,
watch
I
some of the
did too.
behavior. I would watch
Hmm.
some of the behavior that they did, some because they were just kids. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Some of the stuff that they were doing that they were traumatizing their kids without knowing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's just something we have to understand that that's gonna happen to us. You know, but that's why accountability is very important in any nation of people. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some kind of uh, accountability to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you don't have any, how can you grow? You know what I mean? Like having selective outrage about shit that doesn't matter. You feel me? Um, oh my God. No,
So
I,
evidently you must be on different sides of TikTok.
you know, I had no. I saw this. No, I saw this lot. So people, you seen that dude who was doing Tinderism? You seen him?
Yeah. Hmm.
So people are mad about that, but they're not going to be mad about some girls coming into a black owned restaurant and twerking, and the guy kicking them out, and then they're going to be mad at the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People be acting like we don't have black business. They're gonna be selective outrage over companies that are not even owned by black people. That's selective outrage, bro. It's it's not it's being outraged about things that don't really pertain to us. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Well, hey, Hill daughter, welcome in.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Great
But
conversation. Great
I know
conversation.
that does make sense. That's just like it's somebody having a conversation where they've been saying that Don Lemon what he did. Well, to me, I don't think that pertains to Don Lemon. But then again, I don't know because he wasn't there to protest. But to point out what you were saying, Don, like they were saying, why is people worried about illegal immigrants? That's not black people problems. But I don't really get what they was trying to say on that one.
Man, I mean, I think we gotta focus on ourselves right now. To be honest, we have our own problems, you know, that we gotta deal with. That's why I've never really been one of those people. I mean, I respect Africans and Caribbeans, blah blah blah, but we have a lot of shit we got to work on. And right now, with everything going on, this is the perfect time, as a nation of people, to get straight to it. You know what I'm saying? Because white folks right now, they're kind of all over the place. You feel me? They're scrambling.
So, Hill daughter, you welcome to chime in anytime you want. So, basically, what you saying? Are you in agreement with that? Like, basically, Black Americans should just tend to Black American business.
100%. I don't want to see black folks out here, being on a life for no reason. To be honest with you, because the way it kind of seems like is that we're willing to march and do all this for everybody else, but they're not going to do that for us. You know what I'm saying? And that's just them benefiting without taking any kind of accountability. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
For example, you see like when Nigerians commit a crime, they're gonna put that shit on us. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say black people. They're not gonna say it's Nigeria. They're gonna say black people. You know what I'm saying? But when they benefit though, they're gonna say they're Nigerian. They're not gonna say they're black people. You know what I mean? I just
Hmm.
think that as a community, we have to represent our own people. We have to work on our own struggle. We cannot go put a fire out, you know, on a house when your house is also on fire too. Though you feel me?
Hmm. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I think I get what you're saying, but I also because I talk about that quite often too. How uh thank you, I appreciate that. How often we just in general get off topic with a lot of things. Like we would get distracted by like frivolous things versus um homelessness, single parents struggling, um like we the thing not too long ago with the pastor Drewski and the church and all this stuff like that, and I'm like, as black people, black churches, y'all worrying about comedy, so what somebody got on, and the democracy of this country is in the toilet.
You think, Miss Dada?
I feel the same way. I wish I could understand it all. I feel like if I see someone out in the street choking, right? Black, white, Nigerian, African, whatever, I'm going to try to help. So, and I get what you're saying, Don, but I just, you know what I mean? If you march for me, I'm going to march for you. I think that's where we're at right now because I mean, what's going on with us, with ICE and all that, it's just ridiculous. I don't understand how they can take a child away from a parent and the parent not know where the child is, or take a parent from the child is in school, they get home, they have no parent. It's like the walking dead. I'm sorry, the walking unalive.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy, and it hurts just to see all this going on. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go back to how you said your grandmother raised you, and what can we do that they didn't do back, our
What is your
ancestors
phone?
didn't do, right? It's like my mom, for instance. I'm gonna use my mom. Like, my mom worked, she took care of us, she had clothes on our back, food on our tables, but she couldn't read and write. So me as a child, I would hear from her all the time, I want you to do better than me. I want you to go to school, learn, learn. And she couldn't read and write. So here I am opening, oh, read this. She'd open the mail up and I'm reading the mail for her, letting her know how much the light bill is, letting her know what this mail is saying. So growing up, it's like I wanted to make sure she had when I got older. So when you said you saw your grandmother struggling and you wanted to be like Eddie Murphy, and you did that, right? You did that. You had made up in your mind at the age of 10, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want when I get older, so I can be. I remember living with my aunt one time, and she had just bought a three-family house, right? And she was on the first floor, but her door was a closet door to her front door, if that makes any sense. And I said, you know what? If I ever hit the lottery or something, I'm going to buy not her a new house. I'm going to buy her a real door. So we try to change things and make things better for our ancestors and make things better for ourselves. When we get older, we're already planning this. These things are already planted in our hearts and in our heads that this is what we're going to do. I did hear someone say that, we never hear them say I love you. They're too busy taking care of us. Loving us, taking care of us is the love. So no, we're not ever going to hear it because they're showing us. They're
Mm-hmm.
showing us, but we're not paying attention or hearing, the many nights that they're up praying and asking God for help because they're doing it all by themselves. And then you have some of us showing out, but then you also have, the other half of us, praying as well. Like, oh, I can't wait till I get older because I'm gonna be like Eddie Murphy. I'm gonna get this house for my grandmother. I'm gonna get. So when we don't hear them say, I love you, because they're up so many nights just praying, and
Mm-hmm.
crying because they're struggling. Like, I saw my mom struggle so many times, but I had a jacket. She made sure I had Vaseline on my face when I went outside in the
Mm-hmm.
cold, gloves on my hands, coat tied to my face.
Mm-hmm.
That's love.
Yeah.
Versus what we see now with the younger generation, they bundled up, but the kids ain't got on a little jacket, ain't no hat on their head, but they looking cute. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So for me, it's like I went through the struggle. We all went through the
Mm-hmm.
struggle, so we see that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I feel like we're working hard too. Our
Mm-hmm.
generation, I don't know how old you are, Dawn or sister, but I'm working hard too. But my boys, I have two boys, and they see that, and how I see it in them is how they're doing their children, how they're doing what I did for them
Mm-hmm.
with their children. It's amazing. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
have that eye and just not be mad because the father's not in the household. The mother's taking care of us, and I think that's what's happening. You come from a single family home, and the kids are mad because they can't really get what they want because mom is
Mm-hmm.
trying to make ends meet, but you
Growing
got this.
up, I think it's very hard to admit, but as I've grown up, I'm able to admit I saw a lot of things that traumatized me growing up. You know what I'm saying? And we never give them enough credit. But I would say that mental health is just so looked down upon in our society, in our community. Yes, there's obviously not enough resources because of racism, but I think we should normalize having these discussions and understanding. And that's just one of the problems. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
I
And
get
that's
what you're
that's that's
saying.
partly
Yeah,
because
it
my
is.
grandmother, she worked a 12-hour shift at a factory every single day. You know what I'm saying? And she would come home. I don't think she was trying to have an emotional conversation with me. You know what I'm saying? And she had to be strong for us because if she's not strong, who's going to be strong for us? You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but I think normalizing emotions and therapy, I think that's very important.
It is. I
Mhm.
mean, like I said, I was just talking, like me and my son are doing that 21-day thing, and we're talking about emotions. And cause, and I'm not just doing it just as his mom. I've have credentials and I've worked as a therapist. But he was saying, and I'm glad that we're able to talk, and I love the fact, and just his daughter, this young man, same around the same age as my son. My youngest son is 26, and I think he said he's 25. But that's why I love how he taught, because he's very mature, and I love when I see our black young men have critical thinking skills and emotional intelligence, because that's what we lacked a lot in our generation. So, one of the things he was talking to me about, he was saying that he was like, he didn't know, he gave me a scenario. He was like, he didn't know whether that was anxiety or him just being anxious. And I was kind of explaining to him it can kind of work one and the same. But after talking with him, it really was not anxiety. It was just like human response. But because we have been conditioned to
Mhm.
think a certain way, you get what I'm saying? Like, so
Mhm.
we're thinking, oh, like you're just overthinking it, but it's really not. You get what I'm saying? Like you
Mhm.
really just giving
Right.
a human response.
They do this in school too, especially when it comes to black boys, where regular emotional response are seen as, they start being misdiagnosed with all kinds of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? When it's
Yep.
just black kids being black kids, you know what I'm saying? But I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this, because I told you I gotta go. You see,
Okay.
one of the ops was in your chat crying to me,
No.
Jacko, in the
Oh, that's
chat.
somebody you know?
He followed me. He's one of the white folks who be crashing out on my panel. So
Oh,
they
no,
follow
I
me
didn't know.
around. They're so
I
weird.
didn't know what was going on. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I told you I do reparations, and so we're talking about slavery, colonization, and stuff like that. And
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of
I'm
white
sorry
folks
for what
they feel like accountability means that reparations are us taking paychecks from them or whatever. Um, but I was gonna
I mean,
say,
I typically don't talk. Well, at one point, I didn't really talk about stuff like that, but I am, because I do work. My career is built around politics. So,
oh,
um,
you gotta tap in sometimes. Then you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
You will be
So I
called the
get,
N
yeah, I
word though.
definitely get
So
what I definitely get what you're saying.
yeah,
And
what I was gonna say
I went
though.
to a reparations rally in Washington maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Man, that was one of the best rallies I ever been to. So yeah.
hmm Yeah, my grandfather was in the 1 million man march to Washington, which was pretty dope. Um, I was gonna say though, one of the reasons I kind of started doing stuff like this is because I did tap into my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? When you go back, there's so many books people don't understand that describe our conditions and how we think. You know what I'm saying? That people don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
there's a book by Webb. It's called I think it's Black Minds. It's just like white. It just talks about how we see the world from our view and how society has affected us. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different books and there's so many stuff that our ancestors did and they have provided for us. It's hidden from us because it's not really taught about us. It's not really taught to us. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find
Hmm.
it. But a lot of these answers do lie in the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Henry Clark, a lot of these, they talk about all this stuff. It's not really new. You know, we just don't really have access to it. You know what I'm saying? But just gotta find it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So is he don't even have enough followers. So he don't so he's not even able to get up in the box and talk. He got 20.
Oh, he looks like he's British. Jacko, request up, man. But no, let me ask y'all something though. Um, what does accountability? How would y'all say accountability looks like in the community?
I would say accountability looks like in the community is just, being a village for the youth, you know, um, making sure that, when you send your own kids out, that you're sending them out knowing right from wrong, right? Like we can't fight everybody's battles, but for my kids, I got two boys, 28, 21, and when you go out, you are a reflection of me. Just like when I go out, I'm a reflection of God, right? So I got to walk in and demonstrate those characteristics that God demonstrated 33 years while he was among us. So when my kids go out, they know that they are a reflection of me, you know, so they know to open a door for the elderly, a young lady, to say hello when you're giving eye contact, walk with your head up. You know what I mean? And if they can pass that down to a young person on the street, that, I always give credit when it's due. If I see a young lady, she's beautiful. Oh my God, you're so cute. You're so beautiful. I'm not going to look at her and judge her, of what she's wearing. I don't know her circumstances, but it's just being a village, because someone was a village to me. I'm so grateful and thankful for my aunts. You did mention mental health is serious. We all need to, look at that. Not everyone's looking at that, right? But my aunts taught me right from wrong. This is not to be done. You don't do this. But when you're out there in the community, you're out there to help. Yeah, you're out there to help. If you're gonna miss your bus because you wanna, help this elderly person across the street, you're gonna miss that bus, right? That's taking accountability. You know what I mean? If you're in the grocery store and you just got paid, but you got a family in front of you, and mom is saying to the child, we can't have that. We don't got enough. Then you pay it forward. You pay it forward. So taking accountability for the community is doing what you can. Doing what you can. You be the light. When
Welcome
you
in,
go out,
everybody. Thank you for
yeah,
getting
when you go out, you're a reflection of God. When your children go out, your children are a reflection of you. So how your children act when they're out in the community, that's a reflection on you.
welcome in.
So that's taking accountability. I know there's more, but that's what I gotta say. You know, that's what I gotta say. If you're on the bus or standing at a bus stop, get that knowledge, get that wisdom from that elderly person.
Oh, that's exactly how I'm like. I'm one of those people. That's why I even came to talk to Miss B because, to be honest, I just like let me talk to her. I know she could probably, and she taught me a few things. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the wisdom really lies. It's our people, and that's why it's important to gatekeep the culture and the community and the village. Because allowing a lot of these other people to come in, it kind of jeopardize our community. You know what I'm saying, y'all?
Mhm. And I think she mentioned you were 25. And here's another thing too. The young people can teach us older people something too. We're always shutting down the younger community, the younger people. There's some
It's not
smart
even you though.
people.
It's because they want to divide us. That's why you see people have lives about women and men. I'm like, well, why y'all doing these lives? How is this? productive to the community because they want us to keep having this kind of weird division between us. They don't want us to come together.
Hey, Matthew, welcome
Exactly.
in.
You guys are you guys are traveling. Like I'm 55. I don't look it, but I'm 55. I have never traveled the way the young people are traveling now. Because why? They're more
Now,
responsible with
sis,
their
why you
money.
not traveling?
Well, I'm
'Cause
traveling.
me and you in the
I'm
same
actually
age bracket.
no. I mean, what I mean is when I was their age.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
When I was there, I'm a travel agent
Hey.
too on the side. So
Okay.
I'm traveling now. But what I'm saying is these kids are over in Dubai at 19,
Oh,
21.
yeah.
I was I was working
Girl,
at a little clothing store at
we
21,
came from a
22.
generation where people didn't never know how to get to the airport. You 55.
Exactly.
And I'm from a small country
Exactly.
Oh,
town.
goodness.
Them old a plane. I mean, when I went on the
Kid,
plane for the first time, it was a thing. So when I guess we weren't traveling like that where I'm from
wait,
in the
sister,
South.
we was on the Greyhound bus in Trailways. That's where we was.
Trailways.
We was on
But
Trailways and the Greyhound bus. These kids are over in Dubai. They
Amtrak.
over there.
yeah, so when I heard like the passport thing, bros, I'm like, man, we couldn't even afford to get on no planes back then. What is y'all talking about? This a new phenomenon. But
Wow.
if I could speak to the prompt, anybody who took a sociology
Well, yeah.
class,
What? Just 1 second. I wanted to make sure Don got his question answered. Did it ever? I mean, and then we'll go back to that too about the accountability. I'm just gonna do mine real quick. For me, my 3 points um is to be impactful. That's the one way to be committed to repair, because we can sit around and talk about problems of the community all day long, but if we're not offering no solution, then we just add more to the problem. And accept correction. Like we, you know what
100%.
I'm saying? Like we, go ahead.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, we can get, so yeah, we can get back to the prompt or answer the questions or
Can't even see it. What I can't see all the questions that you asking up there.
okay. But while you looking, Jacko, did you come up for Don or what you got going on before you get yourself together? But we gonna let Miss Cynthia go ahead.
oh, the part of the prompt I see is what struggles did our ancestors accept that should be challenged. Now, some teachings were survival, not destiny. There's some teachings were survival. If you took a college course in sociology, everybody talk about Maslow. And basically, what Maslow say is, you in survival mode, you don't have the basics, then you can't self-actualize. And people don't realize how close we are to from Jim Crow. And our parents and grandparents were in survival. My mom is like 77. So they were literally in survival mode. We were just getting out of that. So our kids, the Cosby Show was like a dream. Living in a place that had a pool in a complex was making it. So I don't think people realize how we were just not even 2 generations from some very toxic survival stuff, like no bathrooms in houses. So I don't think we give ourselves grace. Like from 65 and the civil rights movement, there's only been about 60 something years, 60 to 70 years. And we had a president that was biracial or black in the White House. And that's huge because we had been out of slavery since the 1865 or something. But we are just getting out of survival mode. Some very toxic things. We need to give ourselves grace for that. And we're moving. And I love learning from the young people as a nurse. I saw them young nurses get up, go travel, doing contracts, getting big money. And they inspire me to get out there and travel when my 14-year-old get grown. But we definitely can learn from each other. I like their entrepreneurial spirit, the way they get to go and get their dreams. Like we were just taught to get a stable job, and that's okay because we came out of survival. But kids today are going past that, and that's what they're supposed to do.
You
Amen.
talk about moving on up, Miss Cynthia,
Yes.
hanging in the child line, some piece of pie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my mom came from no educate. I mean, nobody in her family had went to college. Nobody probably even graduated from high school. They were still making X's, and no bathroom in the house. And she ain't no millionaire, but she has a home paid off. She has her retirement. She doesn't work, and she lives comfortably. And that's way from where she started because they didn't. My grandma told her, "You ain't gonna never be none." Because again, they came from toxic beginnings. But she couldn't encourage me at all of the things I wanted to do. She wanted me to do that, doctor, lawyer, whatever. So when I hear entrepreneurial things, I respect that. She can't give me that because she was brought up in survival. And I look to other people who may be doing those things for that type of support. Because from where she came from, she did absolutely great. She went was a Marine. She had 2 degrees. And so I love her for where she is and what she could do. And she did absolutely fantastic. She probably could have been anything had she been in a better environment. And then, but I don't think young people get that sometimes, but we definitely can learn from each other. And I'm 51.
See, I love it. Okay, Mr. Jack,
Oh,
is
hi.
that a real person? Okay,
I'm a person.
okay.
I
How
hope
can
I
we
am.
help you? How can we help?
Sorry.
How can we help you?
Oh, Don wanted me up.
You were crying a lot in the chat, so you know what I'm saying. I just want to make sure you're all right. You know what I'm saying, Jacko?
I'm not crying. I'm just saying. I
Huh?
spread this fun fact a lot of places, just randomly.
I just think it's very interesting the fact that y'all don't really want to leave us alone, Jack. What do you think about that? Why are your people always in black spaces? Hmm?
Well, if realistically, if you don't want us here, you can just make a private group chat or something. You're in a public domain,
No,
so
no,
I'm very
Jack.
within my right to come up.
Jack, nobody goes around in y'all lives, but y'all go around stalking us and stuff. Why
Yeah, a
is
lot of
that?
people go into our lives. There is no such thing as a black
No,
space, really.
no.
It's just a public space.
Jack, what could you possibly tell us about ourselves or our experience? Hmm?
But realistically, my point is, it's a public space. If you don't want me up, make a private group chat. But this is a public space on TikTok. Anyone's free to come up.
Yeah, you already said that, but that doesn't mean you go around antagonizing black people because you don't go around antagonizing other groups, but you do it for black people though.
No, I do. I talk to people, all sorts of people.
I thought y'all wanted to be
You don't know what
segregated.
type of lives I'm
I
in.
thought y'all wanted segregation.
In England, slavery
Yeah,
was
yeah,
never
yeah.
technically
It's a
American.
whole movement. Why the YT people say they want segregation? How can y'all profess to want
No, that's
segregation
American.
and
That's
then follow
Americans.
us everywhere?
That's
Why y'all
Americans,
so
not
nosy?
Brits.
Why can't we be sitting in the same
You know,
restaurant?
slavery was
Why
never
can't
actually
we be sitting in
recognized
the
in
same
England.
restaurant? I'm enjoying engaging with my company because my company is all there. And y'all can't
Hmm.
even get y'all eyes out from down my throat because y'all so
Hmm.
nosy and meddlesome. Why can't
Once
y'all
again,
occupy? Did
this
y'all
is a
grandma
public
not teach
space.
you
Hmm.
to occupy your
This is a
time?
public
That you
space.
have to have
You know,
Hmm.
other
this is a
people to
public.
help you occupy your time because you don't know how to
You do realize.
self-soothe.
You do
You
realize
don't
this is
know
a
how to
public space.
self-soothe. You don't know
Hmm.
how to
You do
entertain
realize.
yourself.
You do
Hmm.
realize
Did your
this is a
parents
public
not teach
space.
you
Hold,
that?
hold up, Jack. Hold up,
Why
Jack. Let
y'all
her
so
finish, bro.
nosy and meddlesome and got y'all nose up everybody uterus and business and butthole?
So do you realize this is a public space, right? I'm well within my right to come up.
Excuse me. So you have to have a boundary. You have somebody,
If
you
you
have to
want
have a
this
law
private, if you
to
want a
teach you to
private
mind
life,
your
you can very
own
well set
business.
it to be.
Because I guarantee you, if I'm out
If
in a
you
public
want a
space with you,
private
I'm not
life, you
studying
can
you.
very well
I'm
set it
worrying
to be
about my
one.
company. I'm laughing with my
If
people. We
you
having a
want,
good time. But y'all over there with the screwball face, looking at
Hmm.
if you
why they
want
laughing,
a
why I'm a
private
miserable
space,
Hmm.
you
POS.
can set the life to be
Why I
private.
can't over here eat my beans and toast while they over there looking good, smelling good, shining like the black
Hmm.
stars we are? Why you sitting over there wrinkling cold and
And
pale?
hating like a motherfucker too.
No one's hating. I never said I'm
Yeah, you
hating.
Yeah,
do. You do.
y'all hate on us because you
No, I
can't
never
beat us,
said that.
Jack.
I never
Jack,
said
you
that.
got look. Listen, Jack. Y'all hate on us because you can't beat us.
Anyway, you're yet to actually respond to the comment I made. You're yet to respond to the comment
Your comment about slavery.
that it was made illegal in 1569 in England,
Go ahead
making it
and
the
say
first country to do so.
why I can't over here eat my beans and toast while they over there looking good, smelling good,
Oh, you
shining
have an
like
echo,
black stars
Chucky.
we are.
Chicky.
While you sitting over there wrinkling cold.
I think it was recorded, maybe, I don't know, or an echo. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Jack. Your people love to gaslight black people.
No,
You
it's
love to
true. It was
gaslight.
made.
Yeah,
Do you want to
yes,
hear
Do
the
you
y'all
love.
think
case?
the first L the rope thing around
England
the
was the
neck
first
with us?
country to make
That was
slavery
the
illegal.
practice y'all had practice on each other. The first rope around the neck wasn't us. It was with YT people on YT people. So
Are you
why you
done?
over here acting like that's
Are you
what y'all
nearly
do to
done?
each other?
Are you
Y'all
nearly
are the
done?
original
Are
bully
you nearly
culture,
done?
the
Are
original
you
mean
nearly done?
girls culture.
Are
You
you nearly
came over
done?
here to
Mhm.
escape,
Are you
but
nearly
see, it's
done?
ingrained in
Are you
you
nearly
all.
done?
So the
Are you
Jack,
nearly
same
Jack,
done?
be
toxicity
quiet,
Are you
be
y'all
nearly?
quiet,
brought
Jack.
from
Let her
Are you
England
finish,
nearly
bro.
done?
because of what
Are you
England
nearly
was
done?
doing to y'all,
Are you nearly
y'all brought
done?
over
Are you
here.
nearly done?
You
But
are
Are
family,
you
I just
nearly
want to point
done?
shameless,
out. I just want to point out how he's
godless,
trying to center
heartless,
himself in this in
unempathetic people.
this
Well, no, it's
live.
more so the fact that why is it allowed that you're allowed
Hold
to
up, Jack,
interrupt, but I'm
Jack,
not?
Jack,
Why are
Jack.
you
Listen,
allowed to
Jack,
interrupt, but I'm
Jack,
not?
One
Jack,
at a
Jack,
time.
Jack,
One at a time. One at a time.
Jack. You're
Why
trying
are
to
you
center
allowed to
yourself.
interrupt, but
Hold up,
I'm
Jack.
not?
Hold up,
That's my
Jack. Slow down,
question.
Jack. Slow down, Jack. You're trying to center yourself right in the topic
I'm
about
not.
black
I'm
people.
saying why are you
You
allowed to
are
interrupt when
Jack
I'm not?
because this topic has
I'm for
nothing to do with you, but
continuity.
you're still here. This topic has nothing to do with you, but you're still here, and you're trying to hog all the attention, and the conversation has nothing to do with you. Yeah.
Okay, but equally, you're the. I was let up here. Host didn't have to do that if they didn't want that, right? And this is once again a public space, so it's not about that at all.
Jack, what
And
what what is your point though? What
I
point?
made that point in the comments, and you're saying it's gaslighting or something. It's not. It's true. It was. If you look at the case, it was made illegal. I just made that point in the comments. You told me to come up, so I came up.
Okay, Jack, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on. Slavery was not ended until 1834, and
Wrong.
your people. Slow down.
15,
Your people. Slow down. Slow
1569
down. Slow
said.
down. Slow down, Jack. Slow down, Jack.
Uh,
Right. It was legally. That's when it was illegally ended. You can look it up. Right.
okay, no,
Two. Well,
legally,
slow down. Hold
it
up.
was
Slow down, Jack.
illegalized.
Slow
Hang
down,
on,
Jack. Jack. You have to let me
listen,
finish. Right.
just listen.
You cannot quote unquote take credit for ending something that you were doing. You were the ones doing all the
In
atrocities.
England,
Why
specifically in
slow down,
England.
Jack? Why are you trying to take credit for ending it when you were the ones doing the atrocities? That
Right,
makes
hang
no
on.
sense.
Okay, so are you done? Because then, so I don't interrupt you. So first of all, Cartwright's case states that England is too pure an air for a slave to breathe in, which meant that as soon as they came here, they'd be emancipated. It was first made illegal in 1569, then secondly in 1772, and then thirdly in 1834. That was the times that they were officially legalized in England itself. Not talking about the colonies, I was talking about in England. So in 1569, it was made illegal in England. And actually,
That's a contradiction. You just
it's
contradicted
not.
yourself. How
No,
could it?
because
Why would?
when
No, no, hold up. How can you
it
say
was
that
the
it was
first
made
country
illegal?
to make that
Slow down,
action.
Jack. Slow down, Jack.
Hang
How
on,
can you
hang
say
on,
that it
hang
was?
on.
How could you say that it was made illegal in the 1500s, then made illegal again in the
Because it was
1700s?
just because it was
Jack,
turned
that's a
over.
contradiction. So clearly, it
No,
was
no,
not
no.
made
It was
illegal if people
turned.
were still
No, it
practicing
was
it and it
turned.
had to be rebanned.
It was
That
no,
makes
no.
no
The
sense.
first no. Listen. The first time it was turned over later in the 1600s, but then it was rebanned in the 1700s. But it doesn't take away from the fact
Why would it
that
have
in
to
the
be
fifth.
rebanned
Slow
though?
down,
If it
slow
was
down,
already
slow down,
banned
slow down, slow
already,
down,
why would
slow
it have
down,
to be
slow down, slow
rebanned?
down, slow down. So it's just because it was turned over doesn't mean that it doesn't take away from the fact that it was still the first to do so in the 1500s, and it was still then it was rebanned again in the 1700s, still making it banned before most countries in the world did.
All
Just
right, host.
saying.
Let's get back to the topic. Let's get back to the prompt. He's just
Just
saying
made my
shit.
point.
Okay.
Well, it seems you've conceded, so good day.
So basically, he didn't really have a point.
He just want
Oh
to come
yeah,
up
no,
and
they just want to argue. A lot of these dudes, they just looking for attention. You know what I'm saying? That's why they follow me around. I don't follow them, but they follow me around looking for attention.
But the
oh,
real
that was a major distraction, like major
they
distraction.
can't self-soothe. Nobody taught them to hug themselves. Nobody told them to occupy their own time. You know, when you see this old stay-at-home mom was able to cater to, nobody taught them, baby, you're gonna go sit in that corner and you're gonna play and you're gonna read a book and you're gonna do this. They look to other people for number one for their entertainment. They have none that hasn't been stolen.
And I feel like we taught them. Our ancestors taught
We
them
taught them to wash their ass.
that and much more, but they just did not take heed. Whatever we taught them was erased. That's how I feel.
Why you think they ain't having no babies? Everybody, it's
Can I
part
ask
of
y'all
it's birth
something?
control, but ain't no little old black ladies to clean their house, cook their food, take care of their children for $25 a week no more. That's why the true
Hmm.
birth rate. Think
My
the
aunt did it. She did it for years in Jacksonville. She did it till she couldn't do it no more.
mm-hmm.
She did it.
And because we had to survive, but they can't even occupy their own time. And since we ain't raising their kids no more, they don't even want no more kids. That's why the white T birth rate down, along with that good birth control. And
What's your question, Don?
Oh, my question was: do y'all feel like we protect toxic behaviors in the community?
Oh, most definitely. Sometimes, yeah. Certain cases, yep. Most definitely do.
and we could be do better about it. We could do better about it. But I think some people come from the mindset we want to talk about family business in front of non-family, but we definitely need to get behind closed doors and have these powwows and things. But like I said, we're still coming out of survival mode.
Yeah, I think we're always going to be in survivor mode. To be honest, uh, just because our whole identity is kind of centered around that. I just think that right now, though, this is the best time for Black people to get together, start doing things, and start making things happen. Because right now, with the
Some people
future
are
of
going to
America,
therapy. Some people are going to
yeah,
therapy, and some people are,
mhm,
coming up from those things and taking the time out and at least trying to address some childhood wounds. Like, when they say, I had to beat you for master beat you. Some people are crawling out of that mentality and, finding other ways. I still pop a child here and there when they small. But and I don't disagree with corporal punishment, but I don't agree with child abuse either. But we're still crawling out of those ways and learning new and other things. So I think we're getting there. But
yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
V, thanks for letting me up. Um, the only thing I can just say before I dip, is that we need to give ourselves credit. I feel like Black people, we don't give ourselves enough credit. You know what I'm saying? Especially Black women, with everything that we go through and how much we survived. I feel like we do focus on a lot on the negative aspect of the culture sometimes, and I just think we should give ourselves some credit. You know what I'm saying? When I see everything my grandma has done for us, I'm like shit. I understand there's a lot of problems in the world, but damn, you did a great job, type shit. You know what I'm saying? And we
Mhm.
don't say that often about each other. Too many people out here too busy hating. You feel me?
Want to say
Man,
before you leave, there's a lot of I hear a lot of older people talk about the young people. Where Don, he I don't know him. We just met today, but he said he's 25, and he also mentioned his career when he came up, which is very impressive for a 25-year-old. And for him to have the insight that he does, like I said, I'm very impressed. And I think that you should continue to have your conversation. And I noticed, I kind of like how you handled Jacko, even though you told me on your side that you really go in, but you really been able to maintain why he was up here. And I thought you handled y'all correspondence really mature. Like unlike
Oh,
a
that's
lot of
what triggers them. When I debate them, I'm so calm about
uh,
it. You know what I'm saying? And because white people, they feed off our trauma. You know what I'm saying? They feed off seeing black people suffer. They see us as entertainment. So when they come around in our spaces, they're not trying to have genuine conversations. You know what I'm saying? And I just shut that shit down. I think that with the new generation, they're gonna train their white supremacists. They're gonna train their kids to think a certain way, and we need, with every generation, we need to have somebody to combat them. Does that make sense?
mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah. And
Every generations, we had the Black Panthers, we had MLK. Every generation, there's a group of black people fighting back. I just believe that, hey, I got to be one of them. You know what I'm saying? You got to combat them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But y'all stay blessed. I'm gonna follow you, Miss V. I got you, Cynthia. Y'all tap in with me though. You feel me?
Oh yeah,
My
we'll be over
tap
there.
in with me. It's not a safe space. I'll let you know that now.
Well, I look at it like this.
I like
If
the
you're
bang.
yeah, if you're old enough to be on your phone and be in these spaces, now it's different are if you are underage, you know what I'm saying? So that's everybody you got to know your own mental health. Now, if you going in spaces that's triggering you, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. But we got to take responsibility for our own mental health.
I think we have to. I think sometimes the younger people, like my daughter, I just remember. Sometimes I don't know. I think we forget when we were young that lessons we learned. I had to point out to her, and she still doesn't believe me. We went in the Marshalls. You know what Marshalls is, and the person who was at the counter did not speak English. I'm in a very small town.
Cynthia.
Yeah, you went out and she went out.
Yeah, I think we lost her.
But yeah, I was highly impressed with him. That's cool. I was trying to
And
do
we can learn, we can learn from the younger generation. Not everyone is roddy. Everyone's
right.
they're intelligent. They're
Mhm.
intelligent, and we don't let them speak because how we were. We don't be in grown folks' business. Stay in your place. But
Right.
we have to let them speak because they have something to say. It's like that in those bigger churches too. These young people they wanna preach. They read their Bible, and they always get knocked down when they try to tell the word, and then you have the pastors. No, that's not what it says. Yes, that you're just mad because he said it better than you. He
Yeah.
knows it better
Some of
than
these
you.
pastors need to go to theology school. One man called idolatry adultery. He just changed the whole context. I heard, okay, preacher, go off.
God.
It'd be like that, yo. I'm telling you, it's
Now, couldn't you
crazy.
be when goddaughter finished, you go ahead and finish making your point. We had lost you.
Go ahead, Miss Cynthia.
Oh, I was saying that I had to have a teaching moment with my daughter. We were in Marshalls, and I told the Hispanic guy, "Hey, I want to do a return," and I was digging in the bag for the receipt. When I handed it to him, he looked like he had an attitude on his face. And I was like, no, I told you I was doing an exchange because you got to get a receipt first. And so the Spanish lady came and said, he don't speak English. And so when me and my daughter got in the car, she's like, Mom, I was like, I didn't go off on him, but I said he should not be working at that register. He should not be there. He can't speak English. And this is not a Hispanic speaking community. I mean, it's a lot of Hispanic people here, but we speak English. And I said he should not have that job. But somebody he knows hired him and they're gatekeeping for him and they're allowing him to be up there to work. Now he should be in the back working somewhere, packing some boxes or something. I ain't saying he shouldn't have a job, but he is not qualified to do the job, because to do the job, you need to speak English to interface with the customers. And she thought I was me. I say, they gatekeeping. You see, it's no black person working here on this shift at this counter. These will be the same people that you'll come in the store that will follow you. And she don't believe me till I say, we're going to have this conversation when you get older. We're going to come back. I'm still alive. We're going to have this conversation. And you have to show them what gatekeeping looks like and all of these other things, because if we don't teach it to them, they're not going to know, and they're going to think we live in a color blind society when we don't. And I think that part is probably not being passed on to the younger people.
It's
Anyway,
called keeping it in the family, keeping it, let's all work together, right? Like somebody pointed something out to me on how, the Spanish people, the black people, how the Spanish people, they keep it together. They work together, right? You need your car fixed? Let me take it over to Julio. You need this fixed? Let me take it over to Juan. They work together. But you are exactly correct. He shouldn't have been at that front desk if he couldn't answer my questions. We get that when we go into Walmart. And I'm not saying, nobody can have a job. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to eat. I want everybody to make money. But make sure they're being put in places until they gradually learn the next step and to go up, right? So, I'm in Walmart and like, can you tell me where this is? And they just look at you like they don't know. But then at the same time, they're in their place. They're unpacking the boxes, putting the macaroni and cheese on the shelf. That's where they belong. So, I don't get angry because he can't tell me where the tissue aisle is, but but I guess in your case, yes, gatekeeping, and teaching your daughter is that they're just bringing in their own people, making sure, okay, we all live together, let's get this money. There's like a D'Angelo's down the street from us. No, I think a Subway down the street from us. And every time I go in there, I'd be like, are you guys hiring? They'd be like, no. But it's like the same four people. They from the same place, and it's the same four people. You never see like a black person or a white person in there working. It's the same people. Like, and then I had to think to myself, well, maybe he brought this franchise because you can buy your own Subways if you want. And I figured to myself, okay, maybe when he makes his first $1 million, then he's going to start hiring people to work for him. But right now, he's keeping it. I don't know if that makes sense or if that had anything to do with teaching your daughter. But
young lady, Daisy, had the nerve to get an attitude. And I know the only thing I say, ain't no way Daisy passed that post office test. Daisy can't get the mail in the right boxes because Daisy can't read English. And I told the post office, I called 20 times reporting them. Probably about 8 times reporting Daisy to the number. So I know why Daisy couldn't get it right, because Daisy can't read. But somebody got in that post office and helped her to get that stuff. I know people who can barely speak English, done passed the nursing boards, barely speak English. And you go to Miami, nobody speak English, just delivering the medications. The driver can't really communicate and tell them, it's like, ain't no class in nursing school called how to check in meds. Checking stock is checking stock, whether you're doing it at Burger King or wherever. And they can't even read. So I'm like, how are they doing charting? I know only other Spanish people can probably be at the places that they are working in, but how are you doing the documentation? You don't barely speak English, but maybe they can read it and just not speak it. I don't know. I can read Spanish, but I don't understand it.
They're paying to get their names on a certificate that, but I mean, and they end up keeping the job. They be there for years. Like,
Good morning.
I work with some of the people. Like, how you get this job? I had to go to school for 4 years just to get
Good
a
morning. Welcome
certificate.
in. I'm sorry, Hill daughter. Good morning. Welcome in. Good morning.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to be rude or disrespectful. I wanted to tap in real quick because I go by cognitive dissonance. I'm Black American on both sides. I actually am employed at the post office, and I've been encouraging my Black American people. It's time for us to tap into these federal jobs. I wish I would have signed up years ago.
But
Everything's
yeah,
done by email. No tests, no drug tests. They need people desperately, especially carriers. I'm a carrier. It's job protection, union. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I deal with YT supremacy on a daily, and I give them smoke on a daily. But I encourage you, y'all, family, I call my Black American people family, you know, even though we might not agree on everything, but 95 to 98% of the time, we on code with each other. We need to go after these government jobs. You ain't got to have no degree. I'm 40 years old, just now going back to college after 20 years. But I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep this job because I'm going to retire off this. So ain't no test no more at the post office. If there's no test, as long as you got a clean background, you can even have a felony from years ago. It just depends on the felony, and as long as it's been 5 years. So I just want to put that information out there because these immigrants, that's what they doing. As soon as they cross over to the boat, roll over here, they applying for the post office. And half of them cannot speak English. I don't know how they do it either, but they play. They know how to read and write. So
they
I just
got
want to let y'all know that.
they got friends who done everything for them to get up in there.
There's one post office where I'm at in the area I'm at. It ain't nothing but the whole post office is that particular post office is just immigrants. So if you know anybody that's looking for a job that they ain't really figured out what they want to do yet, or they trying to find some type of career, you know, school might not be one of them. Man, go apply for the post office. Once you apply for a government job and you get that government job, even if you don't want to do the post office, because the post office ain't for everybody. I get it. It's crazy. It's a crazy place. But at the same time, if you don't want to do that, you can branch off and apply for another government position because you already got your foot in the door within a government position. So that's all I want to say, man. But great space, and y'all have a blessed day.
For that information. I'm trying not
Did
to be
you?
the
Yeah. Before you leave, did you want to answer the question of the day? Since
Oh,
you're
okay,
up
okay.
here.
I'm sorry. What struggles did our ancestors accept that should be challenged now? Some teaching were survival, not. Oh, just taking it, just dealing with it. My personal opinion. I'm from the South. I'll even say my parents have still this yes no. Well, no, not my parents. I'm gonna say their parents, my grandparents, when I knew them when they were alive, had kind of like that yes sir, no sir mentality, and this coon, the COON spirit that's going around with these Roland Martins and all that, and telling us what we need to do and just take it and deal with it. Yeah, all that needs to be questioned. So I hope that did answer your question. I hope it did.
Yeah, it did. Like me and somebody was having a discussion, and because I said, um, they was telling me that they was talking about they was on another side and they had a conversation and they was talking about relationship, and he said that he didn't understand that it was a lady that didn't want him calling her ma'am, and I can somewhat understand that too, because I don't really like people calling me that either, but it depends. Like, it depends on the context. Like, of course, my children call me that, but I don't force my grandchildren to do that. Like, as long as you being respectful, because yes, ma'am, no, sir, all of that, that was built. We know it's supposed to be Southern talk or whatever.
Hospitality.
Yeah,
Right.
like, but at the end of the day, it deprived from enslavement. So
Right.
I'm not
And
gonna
I have
force.
to I didn't mean to cut you off. You have a great point as well, because I have to catch myself from saying that, because I gotta like look at the person, because I'm so used to, hey, yes sir, no sir. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being respectful. But then I have to realize who I'm talking to. What they finna have me do for the day. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I gotta put it in perspective and understand. Now, you don't degrade yourself. Walk tall and deal with your aggressor one on one, however they come at you. Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've heard so many topics on that lately. So that's kind of odd about the yes ma'am and the no ma'am. Like some people's like that's how I was raised and I'm gonna continue to talk like that, which is no argument. I feel like I'm not arguing nobody beliefs and stuff like that. I'm not gonna do it. But I feel like we can all say, discuss our preferences and kind of learn from them.
When you were talking earlier about the things, well, I want to say we go into businesses like some of them Asian businesses, and they will have their temple sitting on the counter, them little things they have, and we don't have to agree on anything to do business with them. Hell, they don't even have to talk to us respectfully. But sometimes Black people have a requirement for each other that we don't have for others. Like, I don't care if you don't eat no pork. Yeah, I don't care if you eat chitlins. I'm gonna eat me some chitlins. But that don't stop us from doing things. Like when we deal with each other, it's like we have to agree on every aspect. But we could walk into businesses that don't have nothing in common with us and still do commerce. And as Black people, sometimes I think we have to let go some of the small stuff. And if we could overlook things in other communities to do business with them, then we can have that same grace and stuff with each other. And
Yeah,
even
I get what you're saying, Cynthia, but for me, even like going to different countries and traveling, like if to me, I'm not gonna pay my money for somebody to disrespect me, because I notice a lot of Korean cultures and their customer service is not what I like. So I mean, I remember going to get a Korean scrub, and I did not like their customer service at all. Like, so no, that's not nothing I'm willing to deal with in order to have your service. I'm gonna either find me somebody that was, somebody else to do it. But nah, I'm not putting up with bad customer service from no culture, no age, no background, or none of that. Cause this is my hard earned money that God gave me the sound mind and ability to work with, and I'm not letting nobody disrespect me. Period.
I
So
stopped
no,
going.
I don't do that. Mm-mm.
I started going to the flea market because I used to go in there every now and then. You like get you a good shirt or get bootleg CD and stuff. But the way that they were talking to other people, I was like, nah, ain't nothing here. Cause back in the days when I guess our grandparents and stuff didn't have no other resource, that's where you had to go at. And I was like, ain't
Mhm.
nothing you got in this store worth that. I remember it was a time we had to sit in the back to go to the grocery stores and the this and the that. But today, there's nothing that you got that is worth me arguing with you and you disrespecting me to get my money. And a lot of Asian people are prejudiced. In my younger days, when I was a nurse, I probably was 19, I was in nursing school. This Philippine lady came, she had came from Saudi Arabia, and she still worked with me today in another job, but she didn't know how to drive. Literally, I used to pick her up for work on the way to work, and I stayed late to take her home because she got off 30 minutes after I did, and I dropped her off at home. I never charged her a dime. Fast and a Jean and another Black lady taught her to drive because they couldn't drive in Saudi Arabia. She had been there for a long time doing nursing. You know that lady is a hardcore trumper now.
My God.
She a hardcore trumper, and she about to have a heart attack when her daughter, who her daughter was a child in, was going with a Black guy, and that man took her daughter on vacation to Japan. I'm like, she over there mad. I should be mad because she got that good Black man from my daughter. So, but she a hardcore trumper now. So a lot of those
You
people,
say I should be.
that could have been a good Black man for Savannah.
Oh my goodness.
And so those people are racist.
Yeah.
They do gatekeep, and but I didn't know that until I was it was like 19 when I met her, 19, 20, and I'm 51 now. And I tell my daughter, don't you ever go out your way to show another race that you are not that stereotype, because we don't have to prove ourselves to nobody. And at the end of the day, you see them for who they are. So she talks about her two kids. One son never finished, and she had the ability to give him her house. And she talked about the CNAs. Baby, you gave your son what he had. He didn't earn it. Whatever these CNAs around here got, they come to work, they change poop, they work overtime to get. So you can't even compare the two. And me and Hunter had some ups and downs and different things through the years. And that's how they, that's their culture. Everything the YT man say about us, they believe.
Mm-hmm.
You say you're a nurse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I imagine you see a lot of stuff.
Yeah. The isms
You
are way.
you still hands on, or are you doing?
I'm hands on.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm.
Still boots on the ground. All right. I like
Night
them.
shift weekends, because I do not like being with them people, and I try to minimize as much contact with day shift as I can, and as few people in the building as I can. I work at a pretty much primarily black nursing home, because we got some white people there, but you could even see the racism within that. I saw how they would put YT people and Hispanic people on one side and stuff, and the other people on the other side. I see how when a YT person come, even though they got the same insurances or Medicaid or whatever, they'll move a black person out their room and put them in the room with another one, because we got empty rooms, so that YT person can have that bed. And you would think the administration that's doing that was white, but it isn't. It's a black administration.
Crazy.
And you'll see that I don't seen this administration hire YT people, and it's black people, because that colonization has been taught to us, and they'll hire them in with not even the same experience at a higher pay rate. And it's like, why are you doing this? I ain't saying you got to just go hire black people, but my God, at least give us the same pay and stuff. Why are you participating in the system? I say, let me tell you something. Soon as they get you out, they're gonna come in with their own people. They just don't have nobody right now. But let them get a foothold and see. Because we don't bring a team with us.
That part. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. My cousin worked for the school system. She was a principal's secretary for years. As soon as she graduated high school, she worked for the principal. I think he was whitey, and then Spanish lady came in. The school committee came in. She was Spanish. Removed her so fast, and then all you saw was like Spanish people coming into the school, taking all the positions and stuff. They will do that. They will do that. Mm.
In this town I'm in, I think you say you Jacksonville. I'm in Hendry County. That's like one or two counties above Broward. It's the furthest down south you can come that ain't built up yet. And they priming down here. You see them falsifying all kinds of stuff to push these rates up. But it's the majority is Hispanic. But the Board of County Commissioners, it's only like two towns, maybe a third, but they all small. We still got open land and stuff. So I'm finna see the civil war that's finna happen between the YT people and the Hispanic people, because the Hispanic people probably got the numbers to kick that board out. And it's gonna be replaced with all Hispanic. That ain't good for me or anybody. Like, because they are the same as the YT supremacists. They the same. So I'm just gonna get my popcorn and sit back and watch them. They ain't got no
No,
dog in the fight.
I'm from Boston. My
Okay.
family is from Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you used to come down to the summertime to the south?
Oh, we came down all the time. As a child, we came down, and then as I got older, we had family reunions. So when my grandmother passed, she was from Macon.
Mm-hmm.
She's from Macon, Georgia, and she married my grandfather. He was from Jacksonville. So we're still, we go down for family reunions and stuff like that. So
And when I tell people that I'm 50 years old and I lived in segregation, unofficial segregation, they be like, no, they're like, yeah, we had unofficial segregation. And when you tell them the school voucher system, the charter school system is resegregation 2.0, they like, you lying. I'm like, no, because when you came, especially these small towns like this, they will have one high school, one middle school, but they will have like a few elementary school, because by the time they get to high school, half of the children don't drop that. But they will only have they will have multiple elementary schools, but one high school, one. So they had what they call private schools, and that's for the white people who didn't want their children to go. They in elementary school, they could isolate them because it went by address, but everybody had to go to school together, to the middle school and the high school. And these private schools, the only white people you saw in public school was the 4 or 5 that could not afford to go to the private school. So this charter school system is a way to take taxpayer dollars to fund basically what they used to call them old private schools. They call them charter schools. It's like, no, my child got into a charter. I'm like, yeah, they're letting in now because they want to get it implanted. But at the end of the day, they are not going to allow this. And once the child is signed up for a charter school, they give them all the money for that child at the beginning of the year. So if that child come out of that system and decide, hey, I'm gonna go to public school, the public school now has to educate them, even though the dollars allocated for that student, they issue at the beginning of the year to the charter school. And this is how you starve public school system out. But I can't tell people that because they don't believe it. You know, and one lady, she's gonna tell me online, she kicked me off her panel. She said, I was like, did you know this here? I said, did you know Florida one time was the HIV capital along with New York and California? I want to say San Francisco, New York, and Belgrade, Florida. She like, no. I say, well, you know so much, but you don't know so much. I've been in Florida all my whole life. You can't tell me nothing. But the idea to think that you know something, but and you haven't even had the entirety of the history, and that's the part that I think, and a lot of younger people sometimes are not open to, that slavery still exists. I mean, and prejudice still exists. They don't want to enter. They're like, oh, you're just fear mongering. It's like, no, but sometimes people don't know how to identify it when they see it. Like the black girl who let them put a noose around her neck in the Halloween pictures and thought that was cute. And I'm like, your mama failed you. Your daddy failed you.
Big time. Big time. Well, Sister V, I am heading out to go get my fingerprints done. I'm working at the school, so we gotta get our fingerprints done. I gotta go do that this morning. This was good. Good topic. Good conversation.
Yeah.
I loved it. If you're still on when I get back, I will hop
No,
back
I'm
on.
I'm getting ready to hop off. I've been on for 2 hours, almost 2 hours now. Yeah, that's but yeah, I may come back on later, because like I said, I still we just been getting I've been getting random people coming in that I've never talked to before. While I think kind of staying on this topic, because it could go many different ways. You get what I'm saying? Which it has
Yeah,
been, but which encounters us to have good conversation. Now we did get derailed a little bit. I don't
a
know what.
little bit. That
Yeah, I don't
distraction.
know what Jacko is trying to give us his history, and we all melanated people here.
I thought he was gonna come on and, as y'all were going in on him, I just wanted to say, can you answer the prompt, Jackal? Sometimes, they're gonna give us what they're gonna give us and
Hmm.
whatever point he was trying to make. But if we just ignore that and try to show kindness, just treat them like we treating everybody that come in the room.
Hmm.
So I wanted so bad to say, Jackal, what do you think about the prompt? You
Yeah,
know what
you
I mean? Just
could have jumped in, because, like I said, most of the time, I think people, because back in the day when I would have panels, that's what I like of being around mature adults, because sometimes
yeah,
even though the conversation might get derailed a little bit, they know how to bring themselves back in without me trying to police them. And
right.
I've never really had to worry about that. So But and then for the 25-year-old to handle it like how he did, I thought he did pretty good. But yeah, you
Right.
could have jumped in and say, "Hey,
I just did. I wanted to just, sometimes a good response is no response.
yeah,
You know what I
Sometimes I visit
mean?
Petty Bill and I match their energy, their actions,
You
and their
did,
words.
Cynthia.
But I can do it
You
without cussing
yeah,
did.
that's
sometimes.
it.
I can
Going
do it
back and
without
forth with
cussing.
him, I was away from the phone. That was you, Cynthia.
That's
That
me.
was Cynthia. That
That's
was
me.
Miss Wheeler. Yes, it was.
But I didn't curse. I didn't
You
curse.
did it, and that's what I say. I'm just like, let me just listen. Let's see what he got to say. He was trying to make a point, but y'all was getting him. Y'all was giving it to him. But I just wanted to say, just answer the prompt. What do you think about the prompt? You gotta, the way he distracted us, we gotta distract him.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
sometimes you
I
can
agree.
make people come around. So if you just listen to them, God will lead us to turn it
Mhm.
around on him. Because he's probably trying to find understanding, but if we keep going at him, he's not going to get that understanding. And like you said, his mama, we only taught him how to wash their butt. That's it. But we need to teach him more. He needs to know what we really went through and how we're trying to make change. So I'm not going to sit and argue with something that's just not going to get through. You either going to
Sometimes I
follow
be in the
suit
Old
or fall in
Testament.
line.
Sometimes I be in that Old Testament, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, and don't catch your pearls before swine. I'm trying to
I
get to the
see,
New
Miss
Testament.
Cynthia.
I'm trying. I'm just not what they
Lord.
say. I'm not there yet.
Right. We still a work in progress. That's
That's
it.
right.
But I think
That's it.
Don, the reason Don know him, so he kind of